In this video, I'm going to show you the secondary concept of the air raid, and what I would argue is the most important secondary concept that you can learn, and that is the four verticals approach out of a 2x2 spread. The reason that the four verticals is so good is because it has an answer for every single defense that you're going to face in this game. We're going to show you how to run this against man, against zone, against match. We're going to show you cover 4, cover 3, cover 2, and just show you how to use this coverage to really push the defense back and get them to have to go into something like a cover 4 drop style defense when defending you. Now, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I upload videos like this every single day that can help you become a better Madden player. I'm a little bit sick today. Here we are, December 23rd, and I am a little bit sick as we're getting close to Christmas. So please forgive me, my voice is a little raspy, but I really wanted to do some of these videos today for you because I've been really working hard on just kind of learning some of the principles of the air raid again and just kind of enjoying running it. So I did just release my full air raid offensive ebook on my Patreon. So if you want to get access to that, just join the Patreon. There's a link in the description. By joining the Patreon, you're not only going to get access to the air raid ebook. We're in the Arizona playbook, by the way, today. But you're not only going to get access to the air raid material, you're also going to get immediate access to every Madden 22 offensive and defensive ebook that I've released. So there's a lot of content for you in that regard. Okay, guys. So when we talk about four verticals, I really like to utilize the spread flex. And the reason why is because I think it has the best vertical kind of play. The standard four verticals actually don't run that. I would rather run the drive, and then I'm just going to turn it into four verticals. Because if you look at this four verticals here in this breakdown, I just don't like the way that the route stems out of that tight end position. The same is true if you take a look here. The four verticals in this side. I mean, it's good, but I don't like to have that post. I really don't. That post kind of doesn't really do what I want it to do. And this year, specifically, this route to the tight end is not as good as it's been in years past. It's still good, and I break it down in the ebook and how to utilize it. You can use it, but the one that I really prefer is drive, because you see this vertical route to the left of screen slot receiver. That's the route that you're going to be able to throw that against any coverage in the game. Okay, so the way that I like to run verticals is I like to run this play with the ball on the left side hash mark, or wait a minute. Actually, it doesn't really matter. I'll show you. I'll show it on this one. It really doesn't matter. You can do it on either one. But the reason that I like this play and how we're going to utilize this is we're going to take the tight end, we're going to put him on a streak. We're going to put the circle receiver on a curl. We're going to put the square receiver on a fade. And then we're going to put the running back on either an out route, an in route, or an angle route or Texas pattern. Now, my preferred route is the out route. I think it's the best way to beat man. I find that the out route does better than the route, the in route. And then also the curl, what it does is it gives us a curl flat check down if things don't work out. Now, the way four verticals typically works is if you're getting a look like this, they would actually tag this, or they might, tell the receiver that if that guy gets backpedal, then you're going to cut it off and turn it into a comeback pattern. You could run a comeback too, if you want to. I like to go ahead and just put a curl out there. I think it works the best. So this is my preferred way to run it. And what's going to happen here is you're going to see that this, because the running back is on the right side of the screen, you're going to see that these yellow zones will open up to that side, and I can basically cut these seams off, if you will. So you'll see here, it's actually fairly quick to set up. And then here, you can throw this tight end seam immediately. So what you're going to have is typically they're going to have to basically choose which one they're going to go guard. So let's say, for example, they're going to go to the right side and they're going to guard the tight end streak, okay? Because they're going to have to choose one or the other one. They can't guard both of them. Well, obviously a cover 4 to me is the best coverage against this. But what you're going to see here is there's a little shot area right there that you could cut off. And I can also wait on this just a little bit longer and try to cut this off. Like I said, cover 4 drop is by far the best coverage for verticals, just the way that I like to run it, okay? And so you can easily check down to your curl flat or your comeback route on the right if you want to. If they open to the slot side, then don't be afraid to throw that. That right there is open all day, okay? So don't be afraid to throw that. If you wanted to, this is another reason why, if you want to put the running back on this route, that'll pull the user, and then you can hit these seams, okay? These seams are so fun to run, I have to tell you that. So they are definitely a fun route to utilize, okay? But I also want to show something else here. So if they're running that cover 4, what you should see here is there's going to come a point at which these safeties are going to kind of depart each other, and you can kind of cut this off. Now, it's a risky throw. You're typically not going to get that kind of animation. But there is kind of a key point in the cover 4. And again, it's going to take some lab work on your part. Now, cover 3 and cover 2 are much easier to beat with this read. But there is a key point in cover 4 where you can kind of, like right when he backpedals, just like that. And again, I'm kind of butchering the user catch. But you can basically cut this seam route off if you want. Okay? Again, this is assuming that their user does not go to the running back side. Because if this is their user right here and they're leaving this, there is so much we can do to attack a cover 4. Okay, there's so much other things that we can get to. But I wanted to start with cover 4 because I would say that this is definitely the hardest coverage, especially if they try to open themselves up to that 3 wide receiver side, and then they have a hook curl like that. You're going to see kind of right when he backpedals right there, you can kind of cut this off. See that right there? That's kind of what I'm talking about. Okay. So mess around with that. You can lab that up if you want. I do want to just show this real quick. So let's say they are going with that idea. If they're going to do it like so, then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to just simply check it down to your curl. Just check it down to your curl. If you get it to look like that, it's a drop 8, cover 4. Just check it down to your curl. Another route that is always open in the air raid is the running back route. So if you want to, as long as they don't user it, which they shouldn't, don't be afraid to just take that. Little 5-yard gain, it'll get it out quick. Okay? So don't be afraid to take that. The next coverage I want to talk about, though, is cover 3. You're going to see that this play is going to get significantly better against cover 3. So cover 3, what you're going to have is a safety is going to essentially, his job is to split these 2 seams. And typically he's going to kind of shift, if you will, to that triangle side or to the wide side. So, or to his ball side. So like right here, if you do something like this, again, they're going to have to open up. So just like cover 4, they're going to have to carry that guy vertical, that tight end. If they don't, as Gilmore is killing this tip, if they don't, you can throw your tight end. I'll show you real quick. So if they don't carry that tight end vertical, pass lead inside, click on, secure catch. Okay, really easy. If they do carry your tight end vertical, okay, so let's say that they're in cover 3, and then they take this guy and they carry him vertical. Okay, if that's the case, kind of similar to cover 4, I would just check it down to your curl flat, right there. Okay. Now, another thing I want to quickly point out about cover 3, okay, especially if it looks kind of like this and just anticipating that they're going to take away that tight end. This route to triangle, as long as he doesn't get jammed, you can pass lead. See how high that hook curl took it? And if that hook curl doesn't carry it like he did, I mean, typically he won't, because typically he's going to be in a Mabel. So if they're in something like this, that's kind of the typical defense you're going to get in head-to-head, okay? That's where this can really become handy, because now there's nobody in the middle of the field to take this, except I guess this guy's going to match onto him for whatever reason, and then you can obviously check it to your curl or check it down, okay? Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is against cover 3. Because of the fact that you're going to get a lot of Mabel coverage, they won't jam if they're running zone drops. They won't get a press on the triangle receiver. So what you should see here is something like that. Okay, so it's a very good play against cover 3, very good play against cover 4, and it's really best though against cover 2. And the reason why it's so good against cover 2 is because you're really going to put them in a position where they have to, basically they have to use the triangle receiver. So like right here, you're going to see, as Brady gets completely bagged, you're going to see that triangle route is going to get open. So if I go to cover 2, even if I, put a lot of adjustments on the field to try to stop the curl flat read on the backside of this, I'm still going to have to carry this route no matter what. And if I don't carry it, it's an inside pass lead, and you're going to be able to click on and make that play with Godwin. Let me show that again. Okay, so again, cover 2. And I'm going to show you something else about cover 2 in just a second. So what you'll see is like kind of right in here, he actually got matched. If he gets matched, honestly, if he gets matched, you'll have a step on him. You can kind of try it, to be honest. Typically, he won't get matched. Most people in this game don't use standard zones. They use zone drops. But you'll see kind of right there, that seam will open up. And this is an important play in the air raid. Why? Most of the time, I will tell you this, most of the time you're going to be checking this down. You're going to run this play and you're going to be like, why do I run this? I just throw this all the time. But what that does is it opens everything up, okay? Because if they start doing something that looks like what I'm about to show you, something that looks like this defense really is not going to be able to guard this concept, okay? So when they start running stuff like this and you go to this, you can hit the running back there. You can hit the inside pass lead to Gronk. You can hit the seam on the left. You have 3 different reads that you can hit. If they go to Tampa 2 and they play some kind of like, some kind of soft squat or something on the outside here, what you're going to also see is if they're getting aggressive and heavy pressure, what you'll see here is this little fade to the left side always opens this up to Godwin. Okay? Always opens that up. Now, if you're in a situation where, like let's say you're in a situation where they're playing like traditional cover 2, then what you should see is this little fade is going to get an outside release. You're going to pass lead that to the left, and as you can see, we could beat that traditional cover 2 to the outside. Now, if they're in sync, like cover 2 sync, which means they're in soft squat logic, what should happen is they should match this fade to the left. So they're going to match that fade to the left, but now in the middle of the field, you've still got your seam over the top. So that is kind of how I handle cover 2. Now, the last thing that I wanted to go over, actually I got 2 more things I want to go over. First is match coverage. So how do we handle match coverage in 4 verticals? Well, match coverage was really designed to try to handle majority of what 4 verticals has to offer. So typically you're just going to check it down to your curl flat. Okay? Why I love the curl flat read is because against man and against coverages that are designed to handle 4 verts, now I can do something like this, and as you can see, I can just easily take what the defense gives me. So that's pretty much how I handle man-to-man, how I handle match. You might say, well, how do you handle the pressure? Well, the way that I handle the pressure is basically the same. If it's zone pressure, we're going to read the seam. So looking boom, boom. Okay, that's not there. Okay, we're going to go right there quick. And really what the air raid is about, if you think about it, is you don't have, it's not an offense that's designed that the bomb is your first read. You're going to go through your progressions, and typically you're going to check this ball down. because you're stretching the defense horizontally and you're stretching the defense vertically. So you're going to have a lot of underneath routes open, like crossing routes, little quick back routes, stuff like that. That keeps the offense on schedule. It's very safe, and it gets the ball into players that are fast in space that can make moves. So it's a very safe offense. And what's going to happen is the defense is going to get over aggressive. They're going to try to make a big play, and then your vertical stretches are going to become wide open, which we're going to talk about in a future video. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit longer than I thought, but I hope this gave you a little bit of an understanding of how I like to run the 4 verticals. Just a basic 6-4 verticals call. Again, it's like the 2 cornerstones or the 2 major foundations of this offense. In my opinion, the first one is mesh. The second one has to be the 4 vertical concept. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys later. If you want to learn the rest of the offensive ebook, be sure to join the Patreon. And remember, by joining the Patreon, you get access to all of my Madden 22 material on my offensive and defensive ebooks. So if you're watching this and you want to join the Patreon, there's a link in the description below that you can click that'll take you right over to the website, and we can get you all squared away.